Yo, what's going on, my people? It's your boy Crooks the Great, and I'm back at you guys with a very important UFC 5 video. Because in today's video, we're going to be talking about ways to counter the pressure meta that is present in UFC 5 currently. Now, unfortunately, when games are released, they tend to have maybe one or two broken mechanics, and UFC 5 is no exception to that, in that the stamina system right now is a little bit OP'd and broken. It needs to take more away from strikes, but unfortunately it doesn't do that right now. So this has allowed for a pressure meta to come over the online community in UFC 5. So I wanted to touch on a couple of things to help you better deal with pressure, and maybe some things that you do know, maybe some things that you don't know are viable options to help you avoid just getting pressured for an entire fight in UFC 5. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the first tip that I have for you guys, and that is to use head movement. Now, this is an obvious one. Using head movement to counter will help you to get your opponent off of you, get your opponent to start thinking instead of just walking forward and throwing a crap ton of strikes like we see present in the game right now. That's going to be able to keep you in the fight, as well as being able to land damaging shots as well. So the next tip that I do have for you guys is to use your lunges and pivot lunges. Now, what you guys might know what lunges are, but you might not know what I mean by pivot lunges. And pivot lunges are incorporating lunges into slips. So you see, like right here, we're going to slip and then we're going to lunge that way. This is going to be a very viable tool that you're going to want to learn how to use, especially when you're up against the fence. You'll see high-level guys, they'll duck, they'll lunge off, they'll kind of just sway to the side, then lunge off. It's going to give you an exit route off of a slip to make sure that your opponent just doesn't keep that forward pressure on you. So as you can see right here, we're ducking, and then we're moving off to the side. And that's how it's going to look. You can do it off the duck. You can do it off the left slip right here. You can also do it off the right slip. And that's a very, very important tool that you can use in a fight to keep yourself off the fence right here, as well as kind of counter that pressure meta a little bit, just to get yourself back into space and potentially get a counter as well if your opponent overcommits. So the next tip that I have for you guys here on the video is going to be offensive. Now, this is going to kind of sound a little bit tricky for those of you guys that are primarily defensive fighters and that kind of like to just pick your opponent apart with counter striking. You have to be offensive. If you're not offensive with the current meta that's in the game, or you don't feel comfortable with it, you're going to get eaten alive. Just until they fix the stamina, you're going to have a hard time playing any online mode in UFC 5. So being offensive, learn your combinations, learn your timing, learn your distance management. That's all going to be super important to try to not only stay in fights, but keep your opponent off of you during a fight. Because if they're afraid of something coming back in terms of damage coming back, they're going to be a little more cautious. And this is why you see a lot of elite level players, even with the meta that's in the game right now, they're still being cautious. You see them fighting at footsie ranges and all that stuff, because they are afraid of their opponent's offense coming back. And that's why you see a lot of fights being like that. So be offensive. Learn your combinations. Learn how to set up strikes. Learn your distance management and things like that. And if you don't know any combinations in UFC 5, I do have a combo video that I did drop last week, as well as a striking tutorial that I did drop as well. So if you need help in that area, I do have some videos for you guys already on the channel, so you don't have to look too far. Now, the next and last tip that I do have for you guys here on the video to counter the pressure meta is going to be to grapple. Now, this might seem a little bit odd or maybe out of sorts for a lot of you guys, because you know a lot of people love to stand up and strike. But grappling will offset the pressure meta, because if your opponent knows that you're going to clinch them up right as soon as they get in your face, or that you're looking for a clinch, they're going to change the way that they strike. They're going to start slipping off this way, looking for a counter. They're going to start popping more straights off, which is going to allow you to start countering them. Blam, you slip off to the side, you hit them with a lead hook, right? You start doing all this different stuff. It just adds more of a different wrinkle to the fight if they know that you're going to try to grapple them. If you're going to try to clinch them up, when you're in tight, take them to the ground and hold them there. They're not going to want to continuously stand in your face like a lot of people are doing right now. So grappling is a really solid and effective way to counter the pressure meta. But what's also important in terms of grappling is not only just shooting your takedowns, but using your clinches as well. The clinch can be a really viable tool to counter pressure, especially right now, because people are loving to fight at this range right here. They're loving to just stay in your face, pop the jabs out, hop in and out, just playing right in your face with a high pace style of gameplay. That clinch will shut all of that down if used correctly. If you clinch somebody up and, like I said, you take them down, or you not only do you take them down, or maybe you land a couple of knees inside the clinch, it's really going to make your opponent rethink being inside the pocket with you, and it might just gain you the space that you're looking for to be able to mount your offense. So that's it for the video, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy these tips, and I hope a lot of you are able to implement these into your own game and help yourself really not get pressured. Oh, and one more tip. One more little itty bitty tip for you guys that you can use as well is using the push. The push animation, or the push, this one right here, is a very good viable tool as well. And in order to input that one, it's going to be R2 and lead uppercut. So right here, it's going to be X and square in orthodox. In southpaw, it's going to be triangle and circle. So you can use that one as well. But that's it for the tips, guys. I promise that's the last one that I have for you guys. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to slap that subscribe button as well as slap that like button if you're new to the channel. I do post UFC 5 content on this channel daily. And let me know in the comment sections if this worked out for you, if it didn't. If you have any questions, I'm going to be responding to every single comment on this video. But until the next video, guys, take it easy, be safe, enjoy the rest of your guys' day, afternoon, evening, depending on where you guys are watching this from. And I will see you guys in the next video.